me, and thanks for the selection of the movie. It's great, and it's an honor to talk with you.
Okay, we are also honored to host you, and please let me introduce you to our audiences with a short biography of you. Suzan is the both director and the screenwriter of the Leakage movie. She's born in Shiraz, Iran, and has a Bachelor of Arts degree in Art and Architecture department, and she has also MA degree from Brunel University and filmmaking from New York Film Academy. Since 2009, Suzan has been involved in production of short movies, and in 2015 she started her first feature film Leakage, and it's completed in 2019, and she works as a writer, photographer, and graphic designer in the cinema industry. So to start with your movie Leakage, it has been chosen for work in progress department section, at both Karlovy and Bernard Film Forum. Am I right? Could you please tell the backstory of your movie?
Yeah. I think we were really lucky that we started with Karlovy Vary work in progress section, because at that moment I really could, dig into the film, because it was kind of an ask for post-production help and financing that. But unfortunately, in Karlovy Vary, we couldn't win the prize. But it was. But then, like after 6 or 7 months, later, we were chosen for Berlinale film section, and at that year it was 2019, and from Iran it was the only film that was selected for Berlinale, and it was well received by the audiences, specifically the foreigners. Because there were, it could target different people and audiences, and the target groups were really various and diverse. So, and then we started our festival circuits, and it went through so many festivals. Yeah.
Okay. As far as I know, it's first screening in Turkey. Am I right?
Sorry?
It's first screening in our festival, am I right?
In Turkey, yes. It is the first time. Yes. And I'm very lucky, really, because I'm really fond of your Turkish cinema. Seriously.
Nice to hear that, and thank you for choosing Women Filmmakers Festival for your Turkish premiere also. To continue with the movie, it's a very interesting and strong woman story. In fact, you choose oil, petrol, which is one of the main substances in your country, exactly. So it's a very metaphorical movie in that way. Strong woman in your country, a strong substance in your country. So could you please tell us the link between these metaphors, and why you choose this pilot to tell your story?
Yes, I think this is a subject that is really related to the Middle East, and the whole world. And yes, but Iran is in the center of that kind of topic, because we are dealing with that issue every day. But the thing is, in a period of time, I became sure that oil is what really metamorphosizes and transforms our perception of reality. And for me, leakage was the exploration and the experiencing of the ambiguity that is caused by that kind of, reality. Our everyday reality in Iran, I mean, the kind of real that we are dealing with in Iran, I think, is totally different, So, and oil. I mean, the backstory of this comes from the period I was at high school, and I had a at that time you always have a group of friends, and in the center there's a friend which is which has always that kind of coming of age stories and these stuff. So once she told us that when you get your period, you all get, blood comes out of your body. But when I get my period, something else comes out of my body. So that really remained in my mind as as some fantasy, something that, a high school, a classmate told me, but it remained in my mind. So it inspired me, and I transformed it into a short story, and then to a script. So, but why I chose oil? I think because I really wanted to use that kind of dualistic feature of the oil. As you know, oil has a dichotomous feature. At one point, on one hand, it really lubricates the narrative structure, but at the same time, it creates chaos. As in the Middle East, you can see that, and Middle East itself is like an amorphous creature with all its hands and legs and everything, and it's so unpredictable. And with oil as an underlying material, you will face that kind of chaos more and more and more. So that really pushed me to write a script about oil and to create a structure of a film that cannot be like a usual film. It's if you watch the movie, you will understand that there are some dissonant moments. There's no kind of harmony in the film, So it is because of the chaotic presence of oil. Suddenly it comes up, it gushes out,
Yes. And it creates the chaos within the character and the relationship of the character with the other characters, of course. It's unnatural and something surreal that your body producing oil. She creates a duality and some clash in fact with the character's own body and the other relationship of the character, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah.
Sorry, maybe I can add something. First of all, I was very impressed by your multicultural and multinational background. It's really an honor to meet you and to host you in this festival. Thank you for your contribution. And also, we were amazed by your film. I was going to talk about this metaphor that you used in the film, this equation between the period blood, the leakage that comes out of women, and also the leakage that comes out of the Middle Eastern countries, let's say. In one sense, as you said, this leakage from the woman's body is perceived as something, this object, uncanny thing, which is filthy, but on the other hand, it is the thing that initiates the chaos, and also it is the sign of productivity, as you said in your metaphor comparison. So congratulations, first of all, for this great kind of resemblance and symbols and metaphors that are used very effectively and artistically in your film. I was also going to ask you, how did you sustain the the strength of this metaphor in your film throughout the movie, because it's something supernatural. We all know that this is not natural, but we are so believed to see the how the problem is solved. What goes around this Leakage story?
Okay, the most important thing about the presence of oil and the consistency of that being there, I think. Okay, let me tell you in another way. There's no consistency, I think. Okay. And yes, yes, because I chose that substance, and I wanted that material to be trivialized. You know, like it's a very vital substance. It's a very vital material. You have a very brand new body that can produce something very valuable, but at the same time, it is just there to solve very small family issues. And so it couldn't help, and it couldn't be there as a valuable thing. It is really being trivialized. And what my intention was, I kind of created a new brand body, a female body, with new feature. How I kind of abducted the normal features of a female body, but then I injected new features such as productivity, oil, producing oil, having a leakage organ. But okay, the film is about the hesitation, is about the doubt, about the decision making, about that kind of new body. I mean, what are you going to do with that kind of new body? And it's about the hesitation. And the character that I created, I think she's not a confrontationalist character. She cannot confront with that matter. She's just moving, here and there, and she's always stressed out, and but she doesn't know what to do with that. And the film is about the hesitation. And I think that kind of hesitation, more than the body itself, the female body itself, reflects the society that I come from.
Okay, it's such a good point. That I have a question that comes to my mind, maybe linked with that detail. This in fact full of women's movie that we mostly see women characters both in the city and both in the rural. Maybe men a little bit more in rural, but again it's a woman movie, and men are missing or slightly appear in your movie.
Yes. I think for me, can you believe that? I mean, the person that I really identified with is Said, the maid. He's always. I kind of called him the guarantor of the narrative, because every time that there is a gap, there's a hole in the narrative, the structure of the narrative, he wants to stitch it, and he is actually I really identified with him because I think he's really into real, and he wants to get into the real. But it's like us. These days, it's like we want to get into the real, and we watched, the real TV shows, the reality TV shows, but and they are not the reality, but they are imposed on us. Exactly, it is the story for Said. Said wants to get into the real, but what kind of reality? Anything that they told him, he accepts it.
Yes. And just for one thing, maybe he insists that for the book as a prayer book.
Yes, the prayer book. Yeah, it is an English book. Yes, and it's a military hygiene book. And he even accepted that from his daddy, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
True. Yes, you are right. He's a naive, most naive person in the movie, maybe. So for the woman body issue, can we say that your main character Fuzi uses her body as a tool, firstly to reach her missing husband, then to go abroad. She uses her oiling body. Can we identify her just like that?
Yes, exactly. I mean, she. If I were her, I would do something about the oil itself. I wouldn't look for my husband, or I don't know,
Definitely.
Yes, of course. But I don't know. I mean, I wrote the script, but she's using that for finding the missing husband to persuade him that I'm productive. I have something to offer. I have a privileged body, so you can come back. It's like that. Yeah, I truly agree with your comment.
Yeah. She always wants to prove herself for her husband, plus her own family, her sister, her daughter. Even she wants to prove herself that she's still productive, as you say. And she uses her body as a tool, which can you resemble this point of view with the woman in your country? Can we say?
Yeah, and she's becoming like a savior for others.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there is a chance to apply for going abroad, they will use her productive body, in fact.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And if I could make the sequel to this movie, I would show that that you mentioned. I would reflect your comments. Yeah.
So, do you have plans to have a skill or trilogy?
Sorry?
Do you have plans to make a skill or a trilogy from that pilot?
No, not about this topic. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about your future plans.
The future plan. At the moment, I'm writing about. I'm writing another script. It's a revenge story. Yeah, kind of a revenge story,
I'm curious about it. But revenge is something maybe dangerous in Middle Europe.
Exactly.
Middle Asia.
Exactly. But again, I'm not sure about the gender of the protagonist. Okay, at the moment it's the female.
Yeah.
And but I'm not sure about it if I want to continue that or not. I mean, maybe I change it to a male character.
So one of my last questions, maybe for the actress Armik Garabian, as a pinpoint actress in your movie, how did you choose her for casting? It's a very good choice.
Yeah, I mean she's very good actually, and because I chose her from the English Institute that I was studying at with her. I mean, it was like 10 years ago. We were classmates together, and she was older than me, but she was always a top student and very clever. And yes, and I met her there, and she has that some kind of theater background, but very little. But she's an amateur, and it was her first time. Yes, acting, and but she was really good. Even when we were rehearsing, believe me, like she just needed maybe, you know, once or twice of rehearsal. That's it, and she would do that. Yeah.
And it seems in just that way in the movie, yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So we have a question from our chat part in live. There's a question from a filmmaker.
Look, I'm so sorry. Do we hear your baby crying? If there's a problem, we can just have a pause and continue. Suzan, is it coming from your house? Because I can hear a baby's crying, so we can have a pause and continue.
Yes, if we can pause it, it's good.
Yes, we can pause it. So
okay,
and we can continue later.
Yes. Just a second.
No problem.
Belki burada ses geliyordu da sürekli daha rahat eder diye daha biraz daha detaylı konuşabiliriz diye söyledim.
Ben de duydum ama tam kestiremedim açıkçası.
Arkadaşlar yayını durdurma şansımız var mı? Belki de şu an yayın dışıyız, bilmiyorum.
YouTube'dan şu an devam ediyoruz. Evet, izleyebiliriz.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This is a Women's Film Festival, Women's Directors Film Festival, so it's the most reasonable excuse. For all of us.
And it's my baby. She's 1 year old, and yeah.
Hey, congratulations, baby! Having a baby and producing something together is the most crazy thing in the world, I guess.
Valuable thing also. Yeah.
You are going to
continue with one of the questions from chat. Yes. There is a new filmmaking students are here with us, and they are asking this. First of all, congratulations, of course, and it's a very good movie. But how can you successfully find some funds for making such a great movie? Could you please tell some economical background of your production?
The background of how did I make that movie?
The financial part of impact.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah, the difficult part. Yeah. Yes. Okay, let me start with the city I come from. I come from Shiraz, a city in south of Iran, and the hub for filmmaking is Tehran, the capital of Iran. But Shiraz, I can say that there are independent filmmakers in Shiraz, but we are not making so many films here, and so it's not a hub for filmmaking. But I insisted on staying here because I had friends and families who could help me, and so it was much easier. And I had a future plan that I wanted to do and continue my filmmaking career in this city. So I insisted on staying here. And at first it was really difficult for me because finding the equipment, the film crew, and the professional team was very, very difficult. And we really an acclaimed filmmaker and producer from Tehran watched that pilot and and saw that, and he told me right away. His name is Majid Barzagar, the producer of the film. He told me that I'm in this film with you, and I want to make it, and I want to produce the film. After some months later, we found I was again, lucky to find another producer who's really, really famous and who really helped us. And he is based in Czech Republic. And yes, he helped us with the post-production of the film and everything. And financially, he helped us a lot. Okay. So I think luck is a good word. I mean, for what happened to the film after the pilot that I made. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So can we say for this region, for filmmakers or art producers, maybe in general, it's important to find someone who can trust you, and they will also trust you from abroad, maybe from West or any other co-production opportunities is very, very important to create something valuable in our region. Am I right?
Yes, you are totally right. Like if my second producer, Iravanıan, was not there, I couldn't do the co-production between Iran and Czech, and I couldn't do the post-production of the film in Czech Republic. So, I mean, totally, it really, changed everything. And helped me a lot. And even my cinematographer, he came from Lebanon, with tourist visa. I mean, not even a working visa. So he came for a month and then he left. Again, he came back. So for 3 times, he got 3 tourist visa, and we shot the film. So it was a kind of a long process.
Okay, thank you for sharing it.
Yeah.
I have a question, Suzan. By the way, it's Suzan or Suzan. Sorry for the mispronunciation.
No, I mean, anyone from any country can, pronounce it in any way. So
in Turkey, we have Suzan, the name Suzan.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, same in Iran.
Okay, Suzan, I have a Turkish friend who studied filmmaking in Tehran, and she was very eager to produce there. But when she came back to Turkey, she was constantly complaining about the lack of facilities in Turkey, and she always wants to go back to Iran to produce again with her friends. I was wondering how this situation has changed with the pandemic, and how did you cope with this situation? Because Iran has been affected badly, like Turkey, as we can follow from the media data. So how can you say about this situation? What can you say about the situation?
I can say it's kind of a general effect on, different industries. For example, cinema. It's not. It affected cinema as well as other industries. And I think in Iran, as far as I know, in Shiraz, the filmmaking, has stopped a little bit. I mean, comparing to previous time that I know already. It's been badly affected, and I don't know how. And cinemas, you cannot go to the cinema, you cannot watch the movie. But famous directors like Asghar Farhadi, I know that he has made his film during pandemic. In Shiraz. He came to Shiraz and made his film. And yes, but it was so difficult. Because I think, they have to, do anything regarding to the regulations of the pandemic thing. And so, it's been very difficult. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good luck for all of us, and double good luck for female filmmakers.
Yes.
I have to say. So, as far as I can see, we have some questions from the chat section, right?
Yeah.
Duygu, maybe could you please?
Yes, of course. Our audience is asking, what was the hardest thing in the production of the movie for you?
I think, as I told you, because first we were amateurs. I mean the film crew. So before I make that pilot, I think, gathering everything together and everyone and everything, and for example, because of the financial problem, I couldn't rent the location, so I went to my mother-in-law house and I recorded the film there. So yes, the house is is not rented. So I mean the financial thing, I think, was the main problem. But after that, there was production of the film and everything with the producers, and it went very easy, and it was very good. Yeah.
Okay, so here I have another question with, in fact, very deeply linked to your pilot. I think that there is an environmental something, a problem with the environment in your movie, that the water in the bottles are always changing in the rural area, and always something happening, some bad things happen to animals, to the nature, and village people try to recognize and maybe save that data, see what's going on, and there is a very, very unnatural thing happening to a woman, and you are linking all of this together. Do you want to? I feel that we want to underline the disasters in the nature. Maybe, am I right?
Yes, it is actually, but also it shows that there are so many superstitions going on, mm-hmm. and there are superstitious people, and the thing about religion, superstitious, these are all mixed together and function as a sign of change in the film. Like when the water in the bottle has been reduced, it's a sign of something. It shows that something is going on, something is going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's a superstitious things, and we live in a context with that kind of beliefs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have another, I think, last question from our chat part, that also film scriptwriters think that the most hard part of writing a script is finding the good idea. They are asking why did you choose that idea? You explained it in the beginning. In fact, we opened the Q&A with this question, but maybe I am rephrasing that question in that way. You have more than one substances in your movie, in your script. So how can you combine all of these things? You said we say women problem, body and relationship problem of the woman, the oil problem, the region problem, and also superstitious natural problem. Yeah. So how can you combine, how the student of cinema may combine these different structures?
I think, first of all, when you write about a subject matter like oil, I think oil is connected with all these topics that you already mentioned. and like the superstitious, like everything that you mentioned. And because of this kind of dichotomous, as I told you, nature of the oil, you cannot connect all the things together, because oil is like something that is hidden, but suddenly it gushes out.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, and this is actually the petrodynamic narrative of the Middle East. This is the result of the, you know, all the petrodynamism and petrodynamic interaction in the Middle East. So combining all the topics together is, by oil itself, it functions as a lubricant, you know, a structural, like narrative lubricant, but at the same time, it makes the chaos.
Okay. And that's a very good answer, in fact, for a STEM student, I think. So, if Merve doesn't have any extra question.
No, I just have a wish. Maybe I would like to see more works from you, and I really am glad to meet you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you again for your contribution. That's my part of it. I don't have a question.
Okay, thank you so much, and agree with Merve also. We are very happy to see you, and we are very happy to
thank you very much.
Our festival.
And hope to see you next year.
Yes. Thank you so much for inviting me, and it was a great pleasure, really. Thank you.
Okay, we thank you. And I heard again your baby is crying, so
yes. She wants to participate and has a comment. I don't know. Like...
we sent her kisses and hugs.
Hello, and yes, kisses.
I'm so sorry because of that interruptions. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No worries. We are all the same.
Thank you so much, Suzan.
Thank you. Thanks.
With your future works. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Herkes için zor zamanlar. Ne kadar da özledik bir araya gelmeyi. İzmir için biraz daha zordu. Ama sığmadık. Sığamıyoruz. İzmir'de, Türkiye'nin her yerinde, İngiltere'de ve Kosova'dayız. Evlerinizdeyiz, her yerdeyiz. Bu yıl çevrim içiyiz. 90 film, 80 kadın yönetmen evlerinize konuk oluyor. Sinema size geliyor. Ayrıntılı bilgi için www.kadinyönetmenlerfestivali.com